What's up, guys, and welcome to the next Java tutorial. This is the second part, so you should have already opened Eclipse. If not, go ahead and do that and open the project we made on the first tutorial, which is right here, and the Java tutorial.java, unless you named it something different. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about fields and variables, and also how indentation works, okay? Okay, so indentation is this. Basically, it's a way to organize your code so you can better differentiate it between other parts of the code. So as you can see, this is a bit more indented than the class because this is the lowest layer of the class. And then you go up a layer and you indented more, and then you indented more for the third layer, which is within here. It allows you to see that your code is within this certain method because of the indentation level. Okay? That's all indentation is. Just thought I'd cover it quickly. Okay, so a variable is kind of like a place where you can hold a data or value. And there's several types. So you've got a byte, short, an int, a long, a float, a double, a boolean, and a char or a char, whatever. I'll be going over each of these, and some of them can be quite confusing. So I think I'll start with the most basic ones first, the ones that we'll probably be using the most throughout the tutorial. Okay, so we're going to make a new number variable. So we're going to go public int my number equals 5. So we've got the public access modifier here. This is just showing that anything outside this class can access this number if we ask the class for it, and it'll see it. We've got an integer that's labeling what my number is going to be. So you can have this as any other variable type, but it's got to meet the requirements, such as this has got to be a number if I say it's an int, otherwise it will go complaining at me. And my number is just the name we're giving to this variable, so we can ask for my number at any time now. It's similar to algebra. X is equal to 5. My number is just X, and 5 is just the value of my number. So every time I ask for my number, it's going to give me back 5, because that's what I'm saying. Okay, so we also have a public string my name equals Dan. Access modifier. String is just the name of the variable. This isn't highlighted like int, as you can see, as isn't keyworded, which is strange. I'm not sure why, but that is how you do the strings. I think it's something to do with the way Java has its imports. But anyway, we've got my name, which is the name of my string, and equals to Dan. This has got to be within quotation marks because of the fact that it needs to know that it's a string. Because this isn't a string to it. It doesn't know what the hell this is. Cannot be resolved to a variable. Okay, so we want these within quotation marks. Oops, jeez. This just says that this is the string. Okay, so we've got another one. It's public boolean my boolean equals true. Now we've got the public access modifier to say that anyone can access this. And we've got boolean. This basically is a variable that holds a true or false value. And my boolean is the name of the boolean we're making, and I'm setting that to true. You got to set this to a true or false, or I think it could be a 1 or a 0 too. Okay, you can't set it like that, but you can use that. So if we ever wanted to use this, we just go and it'll help us do some loops and things like that, which we'll be covering later. But for now, you just need to know what a boolean is, true or false value. Okay, so we've got a public float. My float equals 0.5f. Now this is a float is like a decimal number. It's quite a large one. I don't know how long this goes on for, but you can have quite a large float. And now you can include a decimal point inside your number. So you can't with an int, this will complain. If I do 5.5, that's going to be like, it's not a float, what's this? Okay. But if you make it a float, you can actually have a decimal. I'm putting an F here just to indicate that it's a decimal. I don't think, well, yes you do. You need that. You need that to indicate that this is a float. Otherwise it's going to fight you, like it just did with me. We have another one. It's public double my double equals 5,000. Now doubles can also hold a decimal value, so I can have 5,050.50. And I don't have to indicate this with an F. Some people like to put a D at the end to indicate that it's a double, but I haven't done that here because it might confuse you. I mean, similar to the F, that's kind of confusing too, but it's just what you have to do. Okay, now these are all the types we're going to be using throughout this. There are others such as char and byte and short, which are just smaller numbers. Short is smaller and byte is smaller. Byte is like a tiny number. So if you only want to use a tiny number, like such as health of a player, like it goes to 100 or something, you probably want to use a byte because that only stores 127 numbers, which saves space eventually. If your software gets quite big, you might want to start optimizing things like that. Okay, now we can use these in the next software we're going to be making. So in the third tutorial, we're going to start using the variables we created in this tutorial. We can't use them within here, so we're going to have to wait for the next tutorial till I start teaching about classes and things. But I hope you found this useful, and if you have any comments or any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comments section. Thank you. Thanks for watching, guys.